This web lecture provides an introduction to Microsoft Excel 2010, including explaining the layout of the Excel window, navigating in workbooks, entering data, and opening and saving workbooks. What is Excel? Excel is a spreadsheet application with a number of built-in calculation and graphing tools. Spreadsheet applications allow for the convenient organisation and analysis of data, and are widely used in almost any context where data analysis is required. So the first question is, how do we launch Microsoft Excel? There may of course be a shortcut on the desktop or on the startup menu, but an option that will always be available is to click Start, All Programs, Microsoft Office, and then select Microsoft Excel 2010. When you launch Excel, the program opens the first of 3 new worksheets named Sheet 1. To switch to the other sheets, there are tabs here for Sheets 2 and 3. These 3 worksheets are located within what is called a workbook, which is given the name Book 1. The Excel program window containing our worksheets consists of the following components. Starting at the top, we have the Quick Access toolbar. Just like in Microsoft Word, this is a customizable toolbar containing buttons you can click to perform common tasks like saving your work and undoing and redoing. You can add more commands to the Quick Access toolbar by clicking on the customizable drop-down menu shown here. Second, we have the ribbon. This contains Excel commands arranged into a series of tabs. Currently, we are on the Home tab. Within each tab, there are a variety of command buttons organized into groups. If you want, you can minimize the ribbon by clicking here. When you do this, the ribbon will expand each time you click on one of the tabs, but the ribbon will only stay open until you select one of the command buttons. I prefer to work with the entire ribbon displayed, so I can click again in the same place to maximize the ribbon. Third, we have the formula bar and the worksheet area. The worksheet area contains the cells of a worksheet. The cells are identified by the column headings using letters along the top and row headings using numbers along the left-hand edge. So, for example, the top left-hand cell is of course A1. And this cell here, for example, is cell E6. Notice when you select a cell, you know it is the current cell because a dark black border surrounds the cell. Also, the cell's column letter and row number are shaded orange. The worksheet area also contains a horizontal scroll bar to move left and right through the sheet. You can resize the horizontal scroll bar by dragging this button here to the left or to the right. There is also a vertical scroll bar to move up and down through the sheet. The formula bar displays the address of the currently selected cell, which in our case is cell E6. It also displays the contents of that cell in the cell contents box here. As cell E6 is currently empty, there is nothing in the cell contents box. You can insert more worksheets by clicking here. Also, by right-clicking on any sheet tab, you can insert new sheets, delete, rename, and copy sheets, etc. If we add lots of new sheets into a document, you'll see that eventually there are too many sheets for all the tabs to be displayed. We can no longer see sheet 1, for example, in this case. However, you can use the sheet tab scroll buttons to bring new tabs into view, as we do here. Finally, at the bottom of the page, we have the status bar. On the left-hand side, the status bar displays what's called the mode indicator, which shows you the current state of the Excel program. Currently it says ready. If instead we were entering contents into a cell, for example, it would say enter. The status bar also allows us to change the layout of the worksheet area, which we can do here, and finally to zoom in and out of the worksheet, which we can do here. Okay, so that's our overview of the layout of Excel. Now, how do we enter data into the worksheet? You can either select the cell and simply type in the data. So I am going to select cell C3 and type in the number 1. You'll notice that the data simultaneously appears in the cell contents box in the formula bar, as well as in the cell itself in the worksheet. Press enter on the keyboard to complete the cell entry. Alternatively, you can select the cell, then click on the cell contents box of the formula bar and type in the data there. When you start making or editing a cell entry, you'll notice that a cancel, i.e. a cross, and a enter, i.e. a tick, button appears to the left of the cell contents box. So you can click on the tick button instead of pressing enter on the keyboard in order to complete the cell entry. Note that if you want to edit data already in a cell, you need to click on the cell and then edit the data in the cell contents section of the formula bar. If you clicked on the cell in the worksheet and started typing in the cell, you would merely type over what was already in the cell. To the immediate left of the Home tab is the File tab. When you click on the File tab, the Backstage view opens. This is a new feature to Excel 2010. In Excel 2007, you had the Office button in the top left of the page instead of the File tab. On the Backstage view, you can select different options. If you have the Information option selected, Excel displays at-a-glance statistics about the workbook file you have opened. If you select the Recent option, then Excel gives all the workbooks you have worked on in the recent past. If you want to open a new workbook, click the New option and select Blank Workbook. You will then have 2 workbook files open, and you can switch between the files by clicking on the Excel icon on the taskbar. If we return to the Backstage view, then above the Information option you can find the commands that you commonly need to work with Excel workbook files. Click Save to save your current file. That's the same as clicking Save on the Quick Access toolbar. If you have made changes to an existing file and you want to save as something different, click Save As, and then you can choose a different name and/or location. If you want to open an existing file, click Open and then find the file's location and double click on it. And finally, to close Microsoft Excel, you can either click Close on the Backstage view or simply click the Close button, i.e. the X, in the upper right hand corner. And that concludes this introduction to Microsoft Excel.